So as an icebreaker, I like to put my dog up. He is, oriented around my story tonight, and we'll get to that further on. We'll see if this thing not working. There we go. So a little backstory. I grew up in California, surfed my whole life. I unfortunately lost my father at a young age, at 6, so I was kind of brought into a life of a little bit of turmoil early on. At that time, I didn't know what loss was, and I kind of just went through my life in high school, surfing, being your kind of typical pot-smoking youngster. And, the juxtaposition was good grades and smoke pot or get caught. And, ultimately, I let my grades suffer. And so fast forward, through high school, with my mother, who is one of my biggest mentors. She was addicted to drugs and alcohol, became clean and sober. For me, I didn't understand that at the time. I, essentially wanted to live my life as a punk-ass kid and do my thing, and I didn't understand the guidance of that time. So all I wanted to do was get the hell out of the house. I was done with it. So fortunately, at 17, my beautiful mother, who's here today, signed me away to military. Had to have her permission. So at that time, I was gung-ho, ready to go. But I was enlisting with the Coast Guard, similar story to Daniel. I was like, I don't want to do that. But, the Marine Corps recruiter got a hold of me and was like, I got a cool job for you. So at 17, I enlisted as an infantry machine gunner. And here with one of my mentors, Tom, in 2009 on our deployment. It wasn't too bad. I lost a good friend, but, we came home pretty unscathed. War sucks no matter where it is, either here or at home. It's all the same good fight we want to give to each other. So fast forward that time, I became an infantry machine gun squad leader, so I had gentlemen under me. Now, at 20 years old, I was a leader. I was taking 4 men into war. Holy shit. How do I look into the mother's eyes and tell them, what happens over there? And so for that, I struggled for a really long time. And then in 2011, on my second deployment to Afghanistan, I was running to assist medical or tactical aid to one of our combat engineers, Joshua McDaniels, rest his soul, who was mortally wounded, and I was struck by a secondary device, leaving me bloodied, broken, bruised, without a leg, skull, you name it, it happened. Laying in that bed right there, I did not have anything, no drive. I'm laying there while I'm hearing about my men getting killed or getting injured. I honestly did not know what to do with my life. Even when I was out of the hospital, struggled, addicted to pills because you're pumped full of medication at the time. Did not know how to let go of any of it. Fortunately, through a chance encounter, I found the sport of rock climbing. And my story ties into, we all have our individual heart, our self, but how powerful is a mentor? At that time, I needed a mentor. I needed somebody to guide me, to kind of show me the path. I had the drive, but I didn't know where to go. So I set a goal in rock climbing to climb El Capitan as an amputee. I don't know how many did it. I didn't give a shit. I was like, cool, let's do this. That was my 5-year goal, getting out of the hospital. My buddy Chris, actually, one of my main rock climbing mentors, who I had the ability to lead into combat. Now he led me up El Capitan. That was a pretty amazing experience. To be able to lead somebody, to mentor them, to show them the way of our fighting and how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be tough. Yet here, just him and I, on a wall, having some beers, camping we call it. And so that kind of sparked my fire to, want to be brave, to push out, to be myself, I guess, and show people that you can be a mentor just by living your own life. And I also fell into sport of off-road racing, another passion, thanks to organizations that made this possible for me. This was not my doing. This was a mentor, somebody showing me the path and saying, cool story is I went to this same track in a wheelchair in 2008, I believe, and I vowed to race that track one day. I said, this is awesome. I want to do this. And because of a mentor and because of somebody pushing me, I was able to do this. That's me. That's crazy. I mean, when you're up there, that shit's nuts. It's fun. So now, stepping outside of that realm, I was able to give back and step into my philanthropy work, the work that gives me passion, and that's seeing people smile. Whether it was rock climbing, training somebody, working with adaptive children in rock climbing, whether it's off-road racing, whether it's going to speak to children, it didn't matter. I loved seeing people smile. Oh, oopsie. I'm new to this clicking game, apologize. And then I, somehow fell into this miraculous thing of yoga therapy, which I totally ruled this out of life. I was like, what the heck is this taboo-ness? And I did yoga for a year, and then I became an instructor. But all of this about me has to do with the people in my life, my mentors. One of them is actually here today. I won't say his name because I know he'd be embarrassed as all hell. But one of them is here today. Actually, a lot fewer here today. And if I can just leave you guys with one thing, it's what we do in this life for ourselves will die with us. But what you do for others is and always will be eternal. So pick up that piece of trash. Show people that you care. You see someone struggling, pick them up. We all need somebody. I didn't have anybody until I found those mentors in my life to guide my path. If it was me, I was 3 sheets to the wind. But with these people, such as my mom, my other buddy who's here right now, to guide my path, I can now live somewhat of a peaceful life and share that with others and empower each other. We are nothing in this world if we do not empower each other. You can have all the knowledge in the freaking world, but if you hold that, what good is it? So once again, I challenge every one of you, find your inner mentor. Find somebody that you can pick up. Or maybe you're the one that needs to be menteed. Maybe you're the one that needs to let your ego down. Because I know I did. Coming from the military service, we want to be prideful. We want to be strong. The biggest thing I could do was to let my pride down and be guided once again. Thank you guys so much. It's an honor to be here.